Okay, so evening, everybody. It is Monday, the 25th of February, and it's a little bit later, 8:15 p.m., our region Zoom call. And I'm so excited to share with you an incredible woman, Annie. I met Annie networking, and we hit it off straight away, and she's just so warm and loving. And check how good she is, right? I'll do a bio in a minute, but just got to tell you this. So, you know how most people who know me know that I'm a messy circle and I don't do structure, and my office is like, oh, yeah, okay. And I handed all my stuff to Annie because she's my IFA, and it was hilarious because she came back with this box and it was all neat and ordered. She put everything into files, and I was like, whoa, I tell you what, talk about personal customer service. And we all strive in Arbonne to really look after our customers. And she went way beyond, anything I could have imagined. So I was blown away. So I knew she wasn't just about being in business. She was more personal. She was more about people. And so therefore that meant the world to me. So here we go. So just for Annie Begins, Annie set up her own business 4 years ago. After being in the industry for over 30 years. So she did, a lot of people doing Arbonne, they take that different course. As a trusted female financial advisor, and I bet it's quite hard in the world of finance, being a female, Annie. She's always in great demand, and she's here tonight to outline to you a couple of important areas that she finds often gets overlooked. So thank you so much, Annie, for taking time out your Monday night. This means the world to us, and we're really looking forward to hearing your advice about how we can also get our mindset around money correct. Thanks, Annie.
You're welcome. Thank you very much, everybody. I do appreciate you all joining me. As you saw from the beginning, I haven't used Zoom before, so I'm super nervous, actually, to be honest with you. But as Fiona says, I run my own business from my Grantham office, but I have the backing of a huge organisation which you may have come across before, St James's Place. They're a FTSE 100 company, and collectively we're responsible for £100 billion worth of client money, so it's a huge organisation. Now, I'm going to switch the screens. Can you see that, Fiona? Change the screen. Okay, so this is me. I joined the financial services industry over 30 years ago, and I worked for a couple of major life companies and then later as an independent financial advisor. Financial planning is so diverse, and there's so many different areas that I help my clients with. So cash flow planning, family security, investment, standard of living. I'm a big advocate for financial understanding and education, especially for us females, because we are in a male-dominated world, and it's important for me to make sure that my fellow female clients and friends can have an understanding of where we need to be looking at. Now, crucially, a good financial planner gives regular, ongoing advice, especially if circumstances change. Now, with myself, if we have a chat, you don't pay me. If we have an initial fact-find conversation, you don't pay me. When I've done my research for you and your circumstances, you don't pay me. I only get paid if you act on my recommendations, and it's not paid from your pocket either. My fee's paid from a product that's right for you. Now, whether that's life cover, pension, investment, or whatever that may be, you don't pay me out of your pocket. And I think that's quite important to put across, because some people put off coming to see a financial advisor, especially one like myself, because they're worried about the costs spiraling out of control. Now, I like to give clients a face-to-face annual meeting, and regular meetings are always scheduled depending upon what my client wants. So I'm a big believer in being very hands-on with my clients. It's not the Queen's birthday, I hasten to add, because you might get a bit panicky there. But I just wanted to put this slide up here because in 1924, the Queen sent 24 letters to people who had reached 100. In 1952, this increased to 255 letters. In 2007, this went up to 8,439 letters. 2012, how many letters do you think was sent out? Now, we'll come back to that at the end, but if you wanted to just put a figure into the comments box and we'll see who got the closest. So please remind me, Fiona, to come back to that. Very interesting statistics. There's 1.9 million pensioners living in poverty as at December 2017. That's a whopping 1 in 6 pensioners living in poverty. Relying solely on the state pension means that this could happen to us too. Saving into a pension could make all the difference between whether you can afford to put your heating on in retirement or not. And this is stark reality. We see this all the time on the local news. Ladies, gentlemen huddled in their coats because they can't afford to put heating on. That is stark reality. We have got to make sure that we take control of our financial future. Putting money into a pension means that you can save tax, income tax, and that's another really good reason to consider putting money into your pension. Thinking about your future dreams. Now, perhaps you haven't thought about this just yet, but you need to think about what do you want to do in your retirement years. We all put it off because we are so far to our retirement. But if you don't start to consider it and think about the retirement that you want, how are you going to reach it? How do you know if you're on track to reach your retirement needs? Now, if you've got an existing pension, make sure that you get them reviewed. If you don't have a review, you need to be talking to me. There's no point having a pension and investing in your pension every month, or not as the case may be, and just letting the money just sit there languishing. You have to have it actively managed. So please, if you've got existing pensions, just pick up the phone to me. The sooner you take action, the better your future dreams are going to be, and the better chance you have of reaching those future dreams as well. Now, that's the first message. The first message is to take control of your financial future. The second message is we all insure our cars, our homes, and even our pets. But for some reason, we don't insure ourselves. I think it's a case of, it won't happen to me. There's a little riddle there. The man who made it didn't want it. The man who bought it didn't need it. The man who used it didn't know it. What was it? Again, if you think you know the answer, just put your comments in the comment box and we'll have a look at the end. You have to insure your family or take the risk because your family is your most valuable asset. And people don't think it will happen to them. Life can change very quickly when you're least expecting it. So what would happen to your house if you or your partner became too ill to work or suddenly died? Very morbid subject, please do forgive me on this Monday evening. But you have to think about this. Where would the money come from to pay your bills, the mortgage, the rent? This is Kirsty. Now, unfortunately, Kirsty's about to get a knock at the door. And it's that knock that's going to leave her blood running cold because her partner, James, has just been killed in a car accident. And as horrible as it is, you have to consider what would happen if. I'm always saying that to my clients. What would happen if? We all put our heads in the sand when it comes to matters like this. But it's not very helpful. You've got to do some adulting and consider what if. So try and put yourself into Kirsty's shoes if you can. She's got 2 children. What's going to happen to her when she gets that knock on the door? Her partner is the breadwinner. She has her own business that she's building up, but for now, they rely on his salary. Now, very quickly, Kirsty may think that she's got no means to pay this huge mortgage. If James didn't have any life cover, she may be forced out of the house because her business isn't at the point where she's bringing in enough income to pay the mortgage. So where is she going to go? She might have to be forced into social housing because her salary doesn't stretch to anything remotely being able to pay a rent at this current moment in time from her business. Maybe James did have life cover, but will she be able to pay the bills on the house? Is that going to be affordable for her? So turn the situation around. What would happen if something happened to you or your partner? What would the financial position be? If something happened to you, your partner may have to reduce his working hours, stop working altogether to care for the children, or even employ a nanny, but that obviously costs money. And if you're a single parent, who would look after the children? On this point here, I want to ask you to think about your wills. If you've not made a will, that is the first thing you have to do. It's not something that I can help you to do, because I'm not legal, I'm not solicitor. But you must get your will sorted, especially if you're single as well, because you've got to put down who's going to be the guardians for your children. So going back to life cover, if anything were to happen to you as a single parent, and you've put in your will who your guardians are going to be to bring your children up, will they have the funds there to be able to give them the lifestyle that you want for your children, to be able to send them to university or get them on the housing ladder? So having life cover in place is important for several reasons. Now, fortunately, Kirsty and James were my clients. Excuse me, and they came to see me about 18 months ago. We did a holistic review of their circumstances, which means I looked at all the different areas to see where the gaps were and where the priorities lie. Now, amongst other things that I did for these clients, we put in life cover and also family income benefit. So this means that Kirsty was able to pay off that huge mortgage and stay in the house where the children had all that stability, and also receive a monthly income which replaced James's salary. So she could pay the bills without having to worry, because obviously her life was turned upside down. So you need to consider your situation. What would happen if, horrible thing I know, and I do apologise, but what would happen if? Work out what your finances would be. Do you need to take any action? Remember, the most important asset is your family. I have these conversations with my client all the time, every day of the week, and it is awful, but it's the first step in any financial planning. So you do not need to be wealthy to have this conversation with me. You do not have to be wealthy to protect your family. So when clients say to me, I haven't got any wealth, I don't need a financial advisor, or I'll come back to you when I win the lottery, I'm sorry, but you need financial planning. Everybody does. And the first step is your wills and life cover. What would happen if? So what is your plan B? What if something happened to you both? How would you survive on one wage? What would happen to your children? A bit morbid, I know, I'm sorry. Okay, moving on swiftly. I can help with so many different areas: pensions, ISAs, giving your children a head start, saving tax. I do all of that. So when was the last time you sat down with your financial advisor? When was the last time they went through your circumstances, reviewed your pensions, reviewed your investments? What value is your financial advisor bringing you? If you took out a pension or an investment with a financial advisor, you should be having at least an annual meeting with that financial advisor to go through what changes in your circumstances, to go through whether your plans are on track to meet what your objectives are. You know, when you think about when you first took out a pension, you might have had in your mind that you want to retire on a certain amount of salary from your pension. Is it on track to give you that? What kind of retirement are you going to be looking for? Maybe your investments were for your children to send them to university. Are they on track? Make sure you have a review. Forgotten accounts. Do you know there's £15 billion in forgotten accounts? 15 billion, that's huge. 850 million of this is in a bank and a building society accounts. That's a serious amount of money. Why is this happening? Well, increasingly, amounts of savers switching to find the best rates has unwanted side effects of consumers losing track of where their funds are kept. But I think one of the main issues is when you move house. You can see Fiona's smiling there, so perhaps you've had this before. When you move house and you don't tell everybody that you've moved. It's crucial. I come across so many people that say to me, I think I had a pension with Standard Life, but I'm not sure, and I haven't received a statement for many years. So by the time I look into it, it's because they've moved house several times and they haven't told Standard Life that they've moved home. That's why there's over £15 billion worth of money that's in forgotten accounts. Now, you might have an idea when you get to retirement, oh yeah, I did have a pension with Standard Life. Let me look into it, see if I can find it. But if anything were to happen to you, do your family know that you might have had something with Standard Life? You've not received any statements for a number of years. I constantly hear about cases where mum or dad's passed away and the kids have been trying to locate where their wealth is, their accounts, their assets, their pensions, who's paying them a pension. National savings and investments is another one, premium bonds. That's a big one as well. They just all get lost. So what can we do about that? Well, I have something called My Documents. I've always got a solution to anything that I bring up. I've got something called My Documents, and I'm really, really happy to give you one of these documents. It's a document where you sit down with mum or dad, or they can do it themselves if they don't want you to know where their wealth is, and they log everything. So they put it somewhere safe and they let you know where it is. So if anything were to happen to them, you know exactly what they've got, where their accounts is, what subscriptions they've got, where their income's coming in, because you're going to have to obviously tell people what's happened if anything were to happen to them both. It costs you absolutely nothing. It is just a folder, which I'm more than happy to give them out to you. But it's absolutely invaluable. And the feedback that I've had is I don't know how I would have managed without it. So you're more than welcome to have one of those if you wish to. Now, it costs absolutely nothing to have a review with me. Like I said at the beginning, there's no charge whatsoever up until the point where you want me to do something with you and act on my recommendations. So reviewing your financial goals, objectives and dreams is invaluable because we look at the whole process. We look at absolutely everything. So all it costs you is your time. Because obviously my job is to make sure that everything is in place and everything is there for you if anything were to happen, and also to meet your dreams, your goals and your objectives, and to continuously review those as well. And I'm very hands-on. I'm always contactable for my clients, no matter what time of day it is. And I have had calls in the middle of the night when clients have passed away and the family needs me to go to them. And that's just what I do. So please do not stick your head in the sand. This is very serious. Don't stick your head in the sand. You really, really, really must have a look at your situation and your circumstances to see whether you are covered and whether you are on track. And I can't stress this enough. No obligation meeting with me would give you peace of mind to know that everything's in place, you don't need to do anything, or these are the areas that you need to take control of. Now, I do offer a year-end pack that I can send out to you if you want to do some year-end planning, because obviously we're coming up to the 5th of April. So what you need to do is email me your address. So there's my email address, annie.mason@sjpp.co.uk. Just send me your address and I will send you out a year-end tax pack so that you can make some tax planning. And also, if you want to receive the brochure, My Documents, then just pop that in the email to me as well. Again, if you want to book a meeting with me, we can do Zoom now that I'm sort of an expert on it, or we can have face-to-face. It's entirely up to you. Please get in touch. Are there any questions that's popped up, Fiona?
I just say that was brilliant. Thank you, Annie. Just very explaining it, because it's a scary world for all of us, especially if you're on your own as a female. And the fact that it's not money is just, it's like we seem to have given all these, decisions to be done by the men. And actually, and funnily enough, you should say that. I'm reading a book right now that is one of Maritza's. She's on this call. I borrowed one of her books. So I don't know if you heard about it. So it's Robert Kiyosaki's wife, Kim Kiyosaki, and it's all about rich women. Yeah. It's quite an old book, but I absolutely love it because she just is saying, guys, come on, women, you need to get with this. It's like finger on the pulse time. You you do not want to rely on anybody else but yourself, you know. Everybody's saying thank you. Just see the chat coming up now. Let's have a look. So I have a question.
Yes.
The answer to your first two quizzes.
Right. So in 2012, how many letters do you think were sent out? What kind of responses did you get?
Well, I put 25,000. Maritza, how many did you think? You can type or say if you want to speak. It's probably quicker.
30. I said 30.
It's 13,350. But that is huge.
Yeah.
And now, actually, the Queen doesn't send out a letter automatically when somebody reaches 100. You've got to actually apply to the Queen to get a letter. Because they took that decision because there were 6 in the department. Really, really stupid statistics here. But there were 6 in the department that were sending out all these letters. And they were finding they're having to take more and more people on because people are living longer. Medical advancements, etc. So, yeah, you have to apply now.
That's crazy. And is that for women, just women turning 100, or was it men as well?
Men as well.
And so you know the first quote you said for the first 100, what was that,
1924.
24, gotcha. Got it, I got the rest.
24 letters, yeah. It's huge.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I think it's also with when you get married, like your golden anniversary, and then you get your silver or whatever, Jubilee, and then they give you on the Jubilee, don't they? But they've stopped now. You have to ask for it or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, crazy.
Okay, the second quiz was about...
It was. I can't remember the riddle now.
Oh, it was weird. It was too hard for me, I'm afraid. What does a man do in a...
A bit morbid, actually. The riddle was a coffin.
A what?
A coffin.
Oh my God.
I saw that on I can't remember what program I was watching. I thought I'm going to have to use that. That's really good.
Oh,
I didn't get it when I first saw it.
Has anybody got any questions while we've got Annie on? Because she is an expert in her field and would be able to help you if you just had something like to have her here in her time. Anything that you're worried about, or maybe she can point you in the direction. And I do know, I did enjoy what you said about people think they have to have money to invest. No, if you're never going to get money to invest if you don't start to invest the little money you do have.
Absolutely.
You're right, and then you build on that. So, and it's I think as well as having the confidence to know that somebody can help you who knows what they're doing, is trustworthy.
Yes.
Because I do know I would recommend Annie. And also that, you know, I think as a woman to woman, I can see why you really, everybody's, you know, seeking you out.
Yeah.
But you know, I think the biggest thing is we have to take control. And, you know, I don't know where to start. And it's nowhere to put it. Yes, exactly. So Annie is the professional who can guide you and give you, if you've never done anything or talked to anybody, then I would highly recommend Annie. If you have already got with somebody, that's absolutely fine. So I know Galaxy S9, is that Katie? I never know who it is when it comes out the computer name.
Sorry, it's me, Fiona.
It's Emma. Hey, Emma.
I've pressed something and I've gone private. I don't know why. I don't know what I pressed. Annie, we have a property in London. Yeah. And we're being taxed obviously more and more each year. Would this be something that you'd be able to help us out with, understand the finances behind all that? Because absolutely. I'm a bank nurse as well. So last year I was promoted and worked a lot more hours. Yeah. And therefore all the hours I worked extra I've been taxed for.
Of course.
And so then this year my wage is less, so I'm now being penalised. So would they be the kind of tricky ins and outs you'd know what to do with?
Absolutely, yeah. So what I would need to do is understand all of your circumstances, which obviously that would be on a one-to-one basis.
Yeah, brilliant.
And then, absolutely. And there's some crossover with accountancy as well. But obviously I can either find the answers to any of those tricky accountancy questions, or I'll know the answers depending upon your situation. But yeah, absolutely.
I think because my family all come from financial backgrounds, they're saying we'll teach you, but I'm not a financial minded I'm not understanding. So
Yeah.
I think maybe I should come and chat with you because you're related.
Yeah, absolutely fine. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
brilliant.
no questions are daft questions.
Yeah.
None of them at all.
But because I'm related, they just take the mickey. So you're then like, what do I ask?
Yes, yeah, totally understand. Yeah.
Cool, thank you. Thank you so much. I'll be messaging you. I have your email.
Good.
Thank you, Fiona, for this. This is amazing.
Oh, thank you, Emma, my lovely.
It is really important as well. Let me just make the point that I do come across a lot of women, because I do a lot of divorce work as well, and in a relationship there's always one person, or majority of time, one person who takes control of the finances, and quite generally, and that's either us ladies or it's the men. And sometimes ladies feel, well, I'm not worried about not having a pension because my husband's got a really good pension. I deal with a lot of pensions and divorce ladies. So the point I'm trying to make is, I'm not saying that we're all going to get divorced, but we do need to make sure that we have an understanding ourselves of the situation, and we build something for ourselves as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Well said, Annie. And I also think, in what we do with our bonds, so kind of opened Annie's eyes to multi-level marketing and the income stream that, that you can earn, that you need to know what you're doing with that money too, because, at the end of the day, I didn't know, and it's not my comfort zone, and I'd rather give it to somebody who does know, because I know that I'm going to get the best, out of my money. Yeah, I agree. I think we're scared by it. I think that, we are, we very much almost fear it. I mean, I don't know. Money's a servant, I'm the master. I've taught myself that from one of the books. That's one of my affirmations in the shower every day. I have prosperity, I have wealth, money is good. I have prosperity, I have wealth, money is good. And I love people, I use money. I love people, I use money. So those are my 3 money affirmations every day. And funny enough, I do them when I'm in the shower. And I don't know why, but I've been doing that for the last 7 years. But anyway, but it's that relationship with money, and that to know that it's healthy and it's not to be feared, and that there are ways to grow your money. And that's what we do. If you think with anything, you want the money to grow when you don't have to be there. It's going to grow because it's been invested in the right place and it's safe. That is the difference. It's a safe, you're not going to lose it. No. As well. So, and much more than saving your money in the banks, because the rate of interest is so low as well.
Yeah.
Cool. And Annie's like us, she's an independent consultant, which I love too, supporting individuals, because it's her business. So, it's her self-image and the way she works, and herself, self-discipline. So it's a reflection of Annie, and it's not going to a big bank or big building society or big, at the end of the day, you are a number, but Annie's so much more personal. So
yeah.
Anything left, Annie? Are we all good?
No, I think we're all good. What I will say on the back of that is, yes, I would be your financial advisor. It is my business, but with having the backing of St. James's Place, that's where your money will be invested. And they take looking after clients' money extremely seriously indeed. And we have what's called an investment committee, and they choose fund managers on a global basis to choose the best of the best to look after our clients' money. So you're not just placing your money with me, you are placing your money with St. James's Place, which is a huge, huge corporation. And they guarantee the advice that I give as well. So you've got that extra layer of security for my clients, which I quite like.
How long have St. James's Place been going for as well, Annie?
27 years.
So Arbonne's 39. So yeah, so it's well established, and it's a high class quality, but like Arbonne and our products, it's just, I feel like you're doing the same as me, except you're doing it in the business world, in your industry, banking, investing, and we're doing it in the network marketing world.
Absolutely.
All right. Well,
thank you so very much. I've been super excited, really excited. Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you.
Oh, and thank you for coming and taking time out. That was invaluable. We absolutely loved it. And I know too, when I asked Danny, this is, Richard Branson, one of the most incredible entrepreneurs, says, when you get asked something, say yes, and then work out how you're going to do it.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's what I did.
That. And he was like, what Zoom?
Yeah, what Zoom?
Brilliant. Okay, well, enjoy the rest of your evening, everybody. All the rest of you, I will see you on the 9 p.m. Zoom with our nation training. Thank you so much, Annie. I appreciate it. I know you've had a long, busy day. So namaste, and I'm sure people will contact you.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.